Hello and welcome. My name is Joe and I am the Panicked Monk, and this is a brief apology tour, if you will. My releases have been very, very sporadic, probably for the last couple years, and especially with IENARATH here, the time in between episodes has been far too large a gap than I would like them to be. I think, and that's part of why I wanted to make this, is I think because I just haven't gotten comfortable with presenting this character in the way that I am seeing her in my mind. It is a reproduction of a previous playthrough that was not recorded many years ago. And I think what I'm having trouble with is trying to recreate that experience. And I just have not been able to do that. And of course I can't. Because the game is different. My setup is a little bit different now in this particular mod configuration. It's essentially got the base pieces to it, but it's got some additions. However, it's not just that. It's trying to recreate something that you've already done in a game that is very both predictable and random. I know the quests. I know the things that I need to do, or I know most of them. I got the high points. But how they play out is going to be different. So I think if I am going to continue to try and keep this series going, what I need to do is get out of my own way, get out of my head, and play this character as the game allows. Trying to keep her headspace in a similar place that it was during my original play, but allowing myself the flexibility and freedom to experience this playthrough instead of trying to recreate every detail from my written work and from that original experience. I think what will make this series happen is if I let go of almost all of that and just play this character in the present. So I just want to take a couple minutes to kind of explain why, in part, this particular series has been languishing. Some of it has to do with the way my computer setup is here at my house. After I moved several years ago, well, about 3 years ago now, a little more than that, but about 3 years ago. It's not as isolated as it used to be, and I know I've gone over this before, but I just want to reiterate that the environment, the physical environment, is in part plays to the difficulties of why I'm just not recording stuff. So that's one. That's a hurdle that I can get over by adjusting my recording schedules. I do have an available room now that my children have moved out that I could move this to, but there's work that needs to be done in that room that I would like to do before that happens. And part of me doesn't really want to, because when I separate this machine, I separate myself from well, from my wife, basically. And that's not something I want to do either. So there's some internal struggles that I need to figure out compromises for, insofar as just the physical location and setup of my machine. Beyond that is, as I've said before, just getting away from this idea that I have to replicate my experience of the past. I think I've come to the realization I can't. As much as I'd like to, I just can't. I know a lot of you are like, that's fine, take your time, we don't care, we just want to, we want you to have fun, and we want blah, 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 all the same things that I say myself to others. But, while I appreciate that, it still doesn't seem fair to start this thing and not continue it at a reasonable pace, whether that's once a week, once every 2 weeks, hell, even just once a month. I think we're going on about 3 or 4 now. So, I need to get better at that, as much for myself as for you, and just to keep moving and not being stagnant. I will be doing some Starfield. I know Couch Warrior and I are looking forward to that, but until then, I want to keep this story, and even after that, I want to keep this game going. That's really about all I had to say in regards to IENARATH and her story. There is the kind of a short fanfic, if you will, out there. I don't know if I have that linked anywhere. I'm sure I do somewhere. But it is out there, and as much as I'd like to keep that as a script, I don't think I'm going to be able to. And removing that obstacle out of my way, I think, is going to help me immensely with exploring this character's state. So with that, thank you everyone for your patience, and until next time, safe travels.